Okay, I mean Morro de Cristo, which is on a hill. Morro actually means hill in Portuguese, right? So let me show you a little bit. You can see the hill, yeah, and the sea, right? So let me start, yeah, from the word morro. Morro means hill, and of course you can hear the word more, and it's interesting that it's associated with a hill. What is a hill? A mound or a pyramid, right? These call in my mind for the ancient builders, yeah? And we know who they are, the original people. But anyway, the statue that you see behind me, it's the motto of Cristo. I apologize for the light, it's too much light. But anyway, so this is basically Jesus, right? It's a representation of so-called Jesus. And on his hand, on his left hand, he has, I swear to God, the first time that I saw it, it looked like an umbrella. Of course, it's not an umbrella. It doesn't rain here. It's not an umbrella. It's a crook. I never saw a statue of Jesus with a crook. Not that I go around to see, you know, ancient cathedrals, things of that nature. But yeah, I never saw that. So a crook is symbolic of kingship. It's symbolic of being the shepherd of your people. And that's the old Assyrian stories, you know, that has to do with Christ consciousness. I mean, think about it. We are on a hill, which is a pyramid, and on top of the pyramid, what do you have? Christ consciousness, you know, the light. Comes to mind the visual of earth, wind, and fire. You know, I don't know if it's an album cover, but the thumbnail that they have on the video of Fantasy. Take a ride in the sky on a sheep, fantasy. You know that song, right? Fantasy, right? And you have a pyramid there, and you have a light on top of it, which is enlightenment, Christ, Krishna, you know, Buddha, whatever. That's how it is. But yeah, crook and flail, which, by the way, in ancient Kemet, either one of those two, I believe the crook was actually called Awet, or I think the flail. It was called Awet, which is actually a name we still have nowadays. And actually, my sister is called Awet. You know, there's other Awet. It's interchangeable. You can have it for men and women, by the way. Nowadays, it means victory, right? But in ancient times, it did represent, again, I think the flail, by either one of those two, which represent kingship, right? And it makes sense. Victory over your enemies, or victory like in the general sense, having a harmony in your kingdom, right? Balance, peace, ma'at, which is, of course, as I said many times, it's an Eritrean word, ma'at, which means a lot. And of course, you associate it with abundance. But let me go back now to the message that I left about the 222 and star family being with you, right, in the Cancer full moon. If you watch my previous video, I was in a bar and, you know, they did the wrong juice. I mean, not the wrong juice, but they added something that they weren't supposed to. Ice. I didn't want ice. It changed the flavor, and I had the number 222 as a. Anyway, watch the video and then you realize. So I realized that, you know, guidance is always with you. You know, no matter what happens, even when the slightest of things go wrong, or something that is bigger, you know, you're gonna always be remembered that you're being guided. You know, once you're tapped in, that's it. There's no way back. I'm seeing 444 now. Just watch the screen now. I was watching away. So yeah, angelic number again. So yeah, you gotta energize this. You know, the more you talk about it, the more you feel it, the more you how do you say, you truly make it yours, the more it comes into reality. You know, it's a different time now, especially. Everything manifests way quicker. I heard something here. Anyway, yeah, it distracted me, by the way. But yeah, 222, that was the number. So I'm here, which is interesting. I got a book. It's of Zachariah Sitchin, Il pianeta degli dei, which is the planet of the gods, right? The planet of the gods. And the image, the cover of the book is actually a pyramid. Yeah, it's a pyramid or a ziggurat-like structure, you know. But yeah, anyway, a pyramid, or again, a hill. Again, I'm in here, Morro do Cristo. Morro means hill, right? Remember the Moors. Okay. And the other time I was on the beach, and nobody speaks like either English here, or I speak Italian as well, right? But the other time I met this girl, which is the owner of, you know, how do you call them? The Sun Umbrella, yeah, Sun Umbrella and things of that nature. And she speaks Italian, she's Brazilian. Her name is Katia. Interesting. Ka, spirit. Ya is the agreeable Anunnaki, the ones of the green light, right? The one with the pure green light, right? Then you have Katia, and the T in the middle. T is me, T-H-T-T, Thomas, right? So the spirit of the agreeable Anunnaki, T. I decode everything. Yeah, thank you very much. Even the birds saying it. So, Katia, okay. And Katia tells me, oh, I lived in Italy, in a city called Nettuno. Nettuno? And I said, I don't know Nettuno. But actually, when I thought about it, a few months ago, I realized there's a city that is called Nettuno, but for some reason, I forgot it. But anyway, Nettuno is actually the translation of Neptune, which is a planet. And Neptune, hopefully I'm not wrong, is the planet of hope and fantasy, right? Astrologically speaking. And remember, the message that I left is a message of, in the previous video, 222, full moon in Cancer, of hope. I said something to that effect, you know. The message, it was a message of encouraging message, you know. Your spirit team is always with you. You're always guided, no matter what happens. So there's definitely hope in there. It's a hope that then becomes a concrete reality. So it's not really a hope. But yeah, that's Neptune, right? That's the planet. And guess what? I randomly opened the book then on page 222, right? Of this book, The Planet of the Gods. And it shows like a little map with the planets and their orbit. And close to Neptune, I might as well show you. Can you see that? And close to Neptune, you have the deity that's associated with it, which is EA, which is Enki, right? EA means, it's a title, He whose home is water. A means water, and E, he whose home is, right? And it's interesting because, of course, we're talking about the beach, we're talking about this lady, you know, we're talking about the sea, right? And I'm connecting everything. So this lady has lived in Nettuno, and EA is he whose home is water. So I'm telling you where the message is coming from. I'm telling you about the lineage. We are the bloodline of Enki. I say many times, I'm full of myself. Imagine if I was empty. Imagine if they didn't look at me with envy. Imagine if I didn't come from the bloodline of Enki, nobility, royal princes. I added nobility, royal princes, but the first part, I woke up and I received it. It's just like that. I don't know where it was, where I was. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I might have been in Nibiru. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I received though. So, what else? Then I turn on the other page, 2023, 223. Okay, interesting, 2023. which is the year 2023, 2 years ago. I don't know, maybe something happened. I can connect the dots there. 2023. The page is 2023, following, of course, the page 2022, where I saw the map with, you know, the orbits and the planet and the deity associated with them. And guess what? It's chapter, maybe you can see, it's chapter number 8, right? And it's called Il Regno dei Cieli, the reign of the skies, right? So it's talking about the heavenly ones, right? And of course, chapter 8 has to do with power. And I left a message on one of my decodings of the number 8, which is the realm above and the realm below, you know, and the intersection between the 4 lines that they meet at the center, and you gotta be in the center, which is your Christ consciousness, in between above and below. That's the balance. I connected it to my art, you know. Go back and watch it if you want. But yeah, and that's actually the intersection there. I heard Professor Melanie say that is called, in mathematics, point of tangency. So that's the official name, you know. Yeah, that's the point of tangency, which I believe is where you must reside. So, in other words, it's the center, you know. Like the Christ consciousness symbol, the alchemical symbol for gold, you know, at the center. Yeah. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, the semicircle that I spoke about in one of my videos, where I shown you, you know, the tablet of best, the dark chocolate that I received, and the 180 degrees of the semicircle. Semicircle, I think, in ancient Kemet, I have it in my bookmark. I don't know hieroglyphs, to be honest with you, scripts, but I saw in my bookmark that is the word, that is the symbol for T, semicircle. Anyway, just to further validate my message, even if it's wrong, somebody did it wrong, it did fit perfectly my message, because again, THT, semicircle, you know, things can be wrong, but right at the same time. And the reason why I say it might be wrong in my bookmark, because, you know, it was just a bookmark taken from Egypt, and who did the translation of the hieroglyphs and the letters and everything. You know, we've been deceived till this day, so I don't know if it's right, but it's right, you know, in this context. Anyway, going forward, page 2023, what I see is Marduk, son of Enki. Again, we're talking bloodline of Enki. Defeated Ninurta, which is the son of Enlil. Again, Enki lineage. And Marduk is Dr. York, right? MALACHI ZODOK York. Say it in tongues. MALACHI ZODOK York. That's interesting, because if you connect the dots, and the message that I left, my previous message, and I spoke about star family, you know, Marduk being also commander of the fleet of Nibiru, right? Nibiru, of course, is associated with Anu, or the so-called Most High, right? That you have in your Bible, or as they call it in Italian, l'Altissimo, right? For whoever is Italian and is listening. I doubt that though. So yeah, we are talking about the heavenly ones. So basically I was saying that these beings, these entities are with you and are guiding you. Trust and believe. This is not just something that I'm putting into motion or I'm energizing. This is facts. This is facts. So basically Dr. York, as, how can I say it? I don't know. As an angelic figure, I don't know. Or as an archangelic figure, if that's a word. It's basically with you. It's not incarcerated, because energy is energy. So the energy moves from far beyond. And remember, as soon as I opened the holy tablets a few days after, I saw a clock spaceships with interwoven rainbows, which is supposed to be the New Jerusalem or Crystal City. How that happens? And in my mind I was like, he's on the spaceship, or we are on the spaceship. How? I don't know. How? I don't know. But as I was saying in a previous video, if we are multidimensional, you know, and I'm not navigated in this, just this is spiritual theorizing, which is not just theorizing, because we rely a lot on feelings and certain truth that comes into surface when it comes to us, certain, you know, spiritual beings. They come on the surface, but, you know, only time then will tell. And time is leading me there, you know, to these truths. So definitely much love and honor to MALACHI ZODOK York. And yeah, this was the message. I'm sure I'm leaving a lot behind, but yeah, that's the thing. And again, remember, Christ consciousness, you know, the true Christ consciousness, not fake ass Jesus. Although it's fine if you have to pass through fake ass Jesus to get to a higher level of consciousness, you know. We don't judge anybody, but what I would say is, in this journey, you know, you shouldn't be fearful, because fear can only block you and paralyze you and prevent you to go to the next step. And of course, you know, there's many steps on the ladder to get on top of the pyramid, and on top of the mountain, yeah, on top of the pyramid. But yeah, I think I made a freestyle where I say, all the way to Mount Zion, passing from the hills. Which freestyle is that? I think it's 144 Judgment, probably my first freestyle, like on the which is not my first freestyle, but my first, I don't know if I can call him freestyle, but you know, my first, how shall I call him? Piece of poetry, poems, no? Words of wisdom. Listen, let me tell you, and I heard this from Dr. York, by the way. When the pen writes, it's the soul that writes. You're careful what signature you leave on paper, for real, because what you write down, of course, even what you speak into existence happens. But careful what you write down, and careful what you talk about, you know. Careful how you speak, because it does manifest. I mean all of the things that somehow I've been able to see that I wrote down, and they're coming into reality. But there's a thin line. I don't know if sometimes it's, I don't know if I said it before, I don't know if sometimes it's you manifesting it and putting it into reality, or it's simply your clairvoyance that allow you to see into the future, which is a fact. And then you write down the things that you see in the future. So, and in a sense, you're not manifesting them. I don't know how to say it. In a sense, you're not really manifesting them, but you simply see. Well, you do manifest them, of course, because it's your reality, your life. You're at the center. It's funny because somebody in my family told me, oh, you think you're at the center of everything, eh? The world gravitates around you. Yeah, that's how it is. That's the symbol for Christ consciousness. Things might gravitate around you, you know. You're the sun. Things gravitate around you. So, yeah, you do manifest them. My point is, you do manifest them, but at the same time, you have a certain clairvoyance that allow you to see into the future and manifest that future. I don't know, it's an intricate relationship between future, manifestation, clairvoyance. I'm sure there's a formula, higher formula, mathematical formula. You know, everything can be gauged, isn't it? Right? Everything is measurable. Well, shout out to the God of Measure, Tehuti. And on this note, I'm out. Much love to Brazil. Oh, let me show you. Actually, no. Much love to Brazil, the Brazilians. Yeah, Brazilians are so cool, man. I mean, Salvador de Bahia, Brazilians are so cool, yeah. And let me show you at a distance. Probably you can. Let me see. No. At a distance, probably you can see. That's Farol de Barra, which is where the Portuguese arrived first. Not first, but where the Portuguese conquistadores arrived. Yeah, by the way, I was, yeah, I just connected the dots. I think in my freestyle,